like they may go for two, Bobby. And it is. They are.
Wind is blowing in their face.
In the backfield is Latrell Neal with Campbell. Campbell's going to roll right. Throw it. It's intercepted at the goal line. No, he dropped it. So he dropped it, so it's 6-0 McCrory with 3:04 to play here in the first quarter. Bobby, that was a nice drive for the Jaguars.
It really was, and we kind of thought we had a little filling out process to start this contest as McCrory able to strike first up, but a nice play on that two-point conversion. The quarterback plays defense as well for Fordyce. Trey Merritt, excellent coverage right at the goal line, breaks it up. But so now McCrory's got a little momentum. See if Fordyce can come back and answer. Redbugs got 39 yards of total offense here in the first. You celebrate game day under the arches. Get access to tons of benefits through our rewards program. It's available today on the McDonald's app. We're loving it.
So for McCrory, they went 8 plays, 71 yards in 3 minutes and 1 second after the 1-yard touchdown run by Reed Kennan. And so now it'll be Fordyce's turn for their second drive of the ball game. On to kick for McCrory is Amari Smith. It's going to be a high, short kick that'll be fair caught at the 32-yard line. And that's where Fordyce will have it 1st and 10 as we start their second drive.
McCrory okay with that. That's probably the idea. Make a high, short kick. Make Fordyce field it. They don't make a fair catch. Your coverage team is right on top of them. We'll see what the Redbugs can try to do. They had a nice drive mounting early, but they got behind the chains and couldn't convert on a 4th and long. After the quarterback scramble, we'll see what Merritt and his offensive team can do here on the second drive.
So Fordyce comes back onto the field with 3:03 to play in the first quarter, as they'll have a stacked offensive line this time, and now a timeout called by Fordyce. So they'll have 2 timeouts remaining here in the first quarter. I think they had too many people on the field.
Timeout.
They had 12 people in the
Fordyce, they're first.
Fordyce gets a timeout called before they're flagged for an illegal substitution.
Hey, let's head down to the sideline to check in with Kyle Sutherland. What's up, Kyle?
Guys, you saw Trey Merritt make that interception on the 2-point conversion there, and of course he's lined up a quarterback, had a really good drive on the last one. His birthday was on Friday, his 18th birthday, and of course got canceled and wasn't able to play, so you can expect plenty more big plays from him today.
I just allowed for him to go back and have some birthday cake and celebrate on his birthday. I would imagine he would have liked to try to celebrate a state championship on his birthday, but you get to go back and celebrate with the family.
Yeah, you only turn 18 once, at least that's what they tell me. And yeah, I guess birthday cake is good, but a state championship ring would have been better.
Well, there's still some people I know that still act 18, so.
Guilty.
Okay, 3:03 left here in the first quarter. 6-0, McCrory leads it as Fordyce comes back out on the field. Trey Merritt under center, gonna hand it off. Works it right side into the hands of Jairick Walker that he goes nowhere, about a 1-yard gain.
Fordyce lined up and all spread on their opening drive. That time they just line up and 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, and just run the lead play to Walker. McCrory saw it coming, did a nice job of winning at the line of scrimmage, holds them to a gain of 1. You mentioned that you're used to seeing Fordyce run the old school wing tee and power football. Well, there was a look at it.
And they brought it back. Talking with Tim Rogers, they've got multiple looks that they have in their offense. They can spread it out. They can keep it tight. Here's another handoff, this time to Sledge. And Sledge has nowhere to go. He picks up about a yard, and it brings up 3rd down now.
What Fordyce likes to do, you look at their season stats. Beelan has 727 yards rushing. Walker 670. The quarterback's over 300. Marquez Roper over 300 yards. They like to spread the football. They want to keep a defense guessing as far as who their main target's going to be on a given play. Well, back-to-back plays there from the McCrory defense. It didn't matter who was carrying the football. They shut it down.
So McCrory's going to keep it tight once again as they'll have 2 backs in the backfield. Merritt's going to be under center. He's going to look to throw. Goes out wide, trying to hook up with Hammond that time. And it's incomplete. It brings up 4th down.
If we get another look at that, that could have been a hook and lateral. They had Walker coming out of the backfield, running right at that quick stop right on the outside. And if he would have pitched it to Walker, again, coming out of the backfield on what looked like a possible wheel route, that would have been an easy touchdown.
Hayden Musgrove is on to kick for Fordyce.
Here's a look at it. If he makes the catch, you see Walker running right beside him, and that could have had the potential for a big play. But instead, Red Bugs will have to punt it away.
Back deep to receive the punt is Reed Kennan. End over end kick. Kennan will take it at the 35-yard line. Kennan gets a nice return as he gets out past the 45 and will be officially taken down at the 48-yard line, and that's where McCrory's going to have it 1st and 10. You know, McCrory's had good field position throughout this game, Bobby.
They really have. They were finally able to take advantage of that last drive, and now another possession starting near midfield. They've got a little confidence, got the offense working, both through the air on the grounds. We'll see what the Jaguars can do here on their 3rd possession.
So Kason Campbell, the quarterback, has a running back in the backfield. Now we've got whistles and penalty flags. Official has not really gotten used to this microphone. You know, a lot of these guys, it's funny because they are longtime officials that may have never had to use the microphone until they get to the state championship game.
Yeah, if I'm a lip reader, which I'm generally not in my daytime, I think he called a snap infraction. So I'll back it up 5.
Here's a handoff to Neal. Neal straight up the middle. And he'll get back close to the original marker. He's about 2 yards shy of it as they're going to mark him down at the 46-yard line.
Big defensive tackle for Fordyce, going to have to come out for a play. Tyler Davis, he had to take the helmet came off. And so that means at the high school level, you've got to take a play out, fix the equipment, and get back out there.
Campbell's going to keep it himself this time. Straight up the middle. They get a nice gain as he'll take it out to the 50-yard line. And so that's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 for McCrory.
Let's replace size with more size. Mekhi Sargent comes in, replaces at the nose tackle position. Nice job to make the first man miss. There's the McCrory quarterback Campbell, but the troops showed up for Fordyce after that.
Third down and 8 with the ball at the 30-yard line, or 50-yard line, excuse me. We've got 30 seconds left here in the first quarter of play. Campbell looking to throw under pressure, and he just throws it on the left side, and it was out to the outreach hands of anybody. I think the closest guy that time for Fordyce was Sledge.
They tried to sneak receiver out on a deep crosser, but Fordyce's defense stays at home with the coverage, and he essentially just threw that one away as Rush was bearing down on him, and he takes a big shot right as soon as he lets go of the football.
So on to punt is McCrory. Back deep is Hammond. And it's going to be an end-over-end kick that goes down to the 9-yard line. Hammond's going to take it from there. Hammond down back to the 5, and he'll be swarmed under back at the 5-yard line.
Thought it was a really smart play by Hammonds to field that kick and then prevent that extra yardage on the roll, but then he retreats, and that's the one thing you can't do, especially when you field a punt at the 10-yard line. He gives up 6 extra yards, and now the Redbugs, even though they get the football back, have to start this drive well into their own territory, and that goalpost, the shadows creeping ever so slightly towards them.
Not many games do we play state championship games at 2:30. Usually we're still in that noon game by wrapping up the noon game by 2:30.
So we're going to get some interesting shadows, especially in the second half of this one.
There's 9 seconds left here in the first quarter as McCrory's leading it 6-0. Remember last week, Fordyce, they beat Clarendon 7-6 in a very low-scoring affair. Here's a handoff that works right side. And trying to get to the edge was their running back, and that was Beelan. And so now that's going to do it for the first quarter of play as McCrory They lead this 2A state championship game 6-0 over Fordyce as you're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. At Big Red Stores, we're always proud to sponsor, support, and partner up with many events and activities throughout the community. Among them, high school championships throughout the state of Arkansas. At Big Red Stores, our team members are always ready to assist you to make your visit with us a pleasant one. And at Big Red Stores, we recognize that none of our support or ability to serve the community is possible without you. That's why at Big Red Stores, you're always the MVP of the Big Red team. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Riggs Rents, Arkansas's rental equipment provider, from aerial lifts to dirt moving machines and everything in between. Our family-owned and operated business takes pride in serving our employees and customers. Riggs Rents, a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Local broadcast of Arkansas PBS programming is made possible in part by Community Bakery. Scratch-made breads, pastries, cakes, treats, and locally roasted coffees served daily at 2 locations in Little Rock, 1200 Main and 270 Shackelford.
Here we go,
I want to give a bit of special thanks to Community Bakery for providing food for our crew and their continued support of Arkansas PBS.
Fordyce has the football at the 9-yard line, and they're going to just hand it off straight up the right side. And that time it was Beeland who takes it out to the 15-yard line. That picks up a first down for Fordyce.
They're sticking with the wing tee, and they go back-to-back plays there for Beeland, and they move the chains, and that's a big first down, RJ, as they get outside of their own 10-yard line, push it out to the 15, get a first down, and give that defense a little bit of a break.
So a fresh set of downs for Fordyce as they've really tightened their offense up. They started the ball game in a spread look with 4 wide receivers, and now everything's right there at the line of scrimmage. Now here's another run, this time taken by Jairique Walker. And Walker's going to take it out to the 19-yard line.
They're just going to line up, and that's the power I formation, RJ, and it's a simple lead play. To Walker, they're trying to use that size advantage that they have up front and try to wear down this McCrory defense. And those 2 and 3 and 4 yard gains in the first half turn into 6 to 8 yards in the second half, and you're just hoping to pop a big one.
4-yard gain that time by Walker. So now it's going to bring up 2nd down and 6 with the ball at the 19-yard line. Wow. And this one was blown up in the backfield. We've got a penalty flag on the play, but who was it that shot the gap that time? Because he was in there in a matter of seconds.
It almost looked like he jumped off sides, but clearly he timed the snap perfectly, but we've got a little laundry.
Personal foul, face mask, 15 yards.
Reed Kennan was the one that shot the gap and got in there. And I don't know if he got a piece of the face mask whenever he got back in there.
Yeah, Lathan Briley, 6'3", 180-pound linebacker, also back there making a play. But you make the big play defensively, but the face mask negates that and pushes the ball all the way out to the 30 and another first down for the Redbucks.
Ball at the 30-yard line. 10:38 and counting here in the first half.
A little confusion on the McCrory defense.
I hand it off straight ahead to the running back, Beeland. And he'll get a 2-yard gain for Fordyce.
They try the trap play there, and even though all the confusion from McCrory's defense, they do get lined up, and they hold that one to a minimal gain.
Down 8 yards to go.
So it's now 2nd down and 8 with the ball at the 32-yard line. Merritt's going to be under center. Going to hand it off. Right side. This time it was Jyreek Walker. And Walker gets it out to the 33-yard line. Picks up a yard on the play to bring up 3rd down.
Again, Briley, the linebacker, out to make that play in space. Nice one-on-one tackle by the senior. And now it's going to be 3rd and long. And this is, when you run the wing T, RJ, of course, you're talking about you want 3 yards, you want 4 yards. But when you get to these 3rd and long situations like they are right now at 3rd and 7, the offense is really not built to pick up huge chunks of yardage just on the drop of a hat.
So 3rd down and 7. As Merritt's going to roll right. He's under pressure, and he's taken down. Ball's on the floor. Ball's on the ground. Was he down ahead of time? I think the officials are saying yes.
Yeah, they're ruling him down, but a great job as McCrory brought pressure right up the middle. Merritt rolls to his left, but 3 defenders for the Jaguars right in his face. The football did come out late, and there was a clear recovery by McCrory. We'll see if they take a look at it.
As Merritt is limping off the field, he got twisted up at the 26-yard line. And he's kind of limping off the field right now.
That's a big blow as he plays both ways for the Redbug defense.
So it's now 4th down and 14.
Previous play is under review.
Yeah, I thought they might review that potential fumble because you had one official come in and say that he was down, but then there was another one that came in on the backside of the play that said it may have been a fumble. So we'll get the review and find out what the eye in the sky saw.
They ruled him down on the field, and we'll see what the video tells us. That ball's out, RJ.
Yeah, that ball's out.
And there's a clear recovery, 79 for McCrory. Justin Hatch jumps on the loose ball. Based on that first replay, I think they're going to overturn this, and this could be Jaguar football deep into Fordyce territory.
And that would have been hard for an official to see on the backside of that play because his back was to the official. And that's why you saw the back judge come up and start having that conversation because he probably saw it a little bit better. But the guy that was on the line judge position, he's the one that originally ruled him down.
Yeah, Reese Rushing's the McCrory defender who makes the tackle, forces the fumble. And again, Justin Hatch, 79, jumps on the loose ball. Watching these angles, RJ, I think that should be a clear fumble and a turnover. But I was wrong yesterday, and I did not have a perfect 2 weeks like what was my goal on the reviews.
You've not been very good on the reviews.
I only missed one. Come on now. Which means I'm not very good. I understand what that
means. So the officials are still looking this one over. And, I mean, just by the reviews that we're seeing, it looks like it would be a clear fumble. And McCrory, boy, and that would be a huge momentum turn for McCrory because they'd have great field position.
Yeah, because, I mean, this is big because it would be it's 4th down either way for Fordyce, and they'll be able to punt it away. And, McCrory might take over at midfield, maybe their own 40, depending on how good the punt was. But now you're talking about getting the ball deep in Fordyce territory, and with all the momentum, and they're writing this down, I think this could be flipping it over.
Great job by our camera crew to get...
There's 2 really good angles at it.
To get good angles and see. And this is the same stuff that the replay guys down the hall are looking at right now. So everything you're seeing at home right now is the same thing that the replay crew is seeing throughout this ball game. And usually when it takes this long, they're trying to identify where the ball needs to be, things of that nature.
You're exactly right. And also they'll have to look at the clock, too. As since they ruled him down, the clock continued to run. And so they'll probably go back and put some time back on the clock as well.
Now we're going to get the call from our official, William Fry.
The previous play is reversed. It will be McCrory ball. 1st down and 10 on the 28. Please reset the clock. to 8:57. 8:57. Thank you.
So there it is.
They got it right, RJ, and they were going to have to put some time back on the clock, and the McCrory defense comes up with a big play. They get the third down stop, but also they force the turnover. They'll see if their offense can take advantage with great field position.
So McCrory has it at the 26-yard line. We've got under 9 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
Fordyce is going to take a timeout to rally the troops, kind of collect their thoughts, and try not to let this one get away from them.
And that's the second timeout of the half for Fordyce with 8:57 to play here in the second quarter.
I think it's a good timeout for Coach Rogers and company. Just call the timeout, settle your defense down, because this is the big possession. I mean, at no point in any game all season long you want to fall down by 2 scores, but it's clearly here in the state championship game, all the momentum's on the other side of the guys in orange and black. You've got to find a way to maybe get a defensive stop.
So Fordyce is making their way onto the playing surface with 8:57 to play in the second quarter. Kason Campbell, the quarterback from McCrory, has got his marching orders.
For all the football fans out there today, all live action photos from the game are available at myarpbs.org/photos. You can download or get prints made as well. You can download the photos from the game you're watching.
They take some great photos. Kai Caddy, a buddy of ours, he's down there getting a lot of those photos. I saw some he put on Instagram the other night, and boy, they are some great shots of all these state championship games.
Expect nothing less from a UCA Bear.
Exactly. So it's 1st and 10 with the ball at the 26-yard line. Kason Campbell got a back in the backfield. That's Kennan. Kennan straight up the middle. He's out past the 20, the 15-10. He's into the end zone, touchdown. One play and he gets it done.
26 yards right up the gut, and he wasn't even touched for the first 15 or 20, and he's able to do the rest with his legs, and a huge hole right up the middle. And now how big was that turnover, RJ, in that review? Is all the momentum clearly for McCrory, and they take advantage.
That lane that Kennan was able to run through, and then the move to cut back and get to the end zone. That's a senior play right there by Reed Kennan.
That's a big play. It's a great job to take advantage of the great field position. You know, it's nice your defense gives you the football back, but if you don't take advantage of it, it won't matter. And those front 5 for McCrory opened up a huge running lane, and now they're going to go for 2 to see if they can make it a 14-0 margin.
Campbell going to look to throw. Now he comes back and he gets taken down, but there's a penalty flag down. He may have got some of the face mask.
Yeah, they're going to get a face mask or a horse collar. Couldn't tell from I was watching the receiver. He was trying to get the tight end on the left side sneaking out. He was covered well by the Fordyce defense, but they're going to get another shot at this.
Personal foul. Face mask. Of Fordyce.
Campbell's just, he pulled on it.
Yep.
So we'll get another shot at it. It's 12-0. McCrory leads Fordyce.
That's a nice job by Burks to get in there and get in the quarterback's face, but just reached out and got too much of the face mask. And now McCrory's got another chance at this 2-point play.
Let's head down to Kyle Sutherland on the sideline. He's got something for us.
Guys, both Campbell and Kennan were pacing the sidelines right before that fumble and then the review, and they looked like that they were really amped up, ready to get back on the field, and we saw that Kennan really unleashed that energy on that touchdown right there.
Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, that was a great run by Kennan. He, a lot of was made about the size of McCrory coming in because they are a smaller team than Fordyce, but the speed factor that they've shown so far in this 2A state championship game has been the factor.
Yep. What's interesting, we thought we were going to get half the distance to the goal from the face mask. It's a penalty from the spot of the foul. So McCrory actually lost 3 or 4 yards on that.
Now McCrory's going to take a timeout. This has been the longest 2 minutes that we've had in a football game this year.
Yeah, I mean, because you automatically think it's a defensive penalty, so they're going to get half the distance from the previous spot, but they march off the penalty yardage from the spot of the infraction, and so it actually costs McCrory yardage, but they still do get an extra opportunity to convert a 2-point play.
Not very often have I seen that they keep the names on the back of the helmets like that here in the game. Usually you have that. And it's not even names. It just says Sandbox on the back. We're going to get Kyle to look into that. Kyle, find out what Sandbox means on the back of those McCrory helmets.
Yeah, but you're exactly right. You don't see tape on the back of the helmet unless you're in two-a-days.
Yeah.
The coach is trying to learn all the freshman's name. Other than that, it doesn't stay on there very long.
I know there's probably some folks in McCrory going, they all know what the Sandbox means. And
tell the rest of us.
Yeah. So here's the 2-point conversion attempt for McCrory. Kennon's in the backfield with Campbell. Campbell looking to throw, and he throws it behind his intended target. Trying to hook up that time with his wide receiver, Levi Tucker. And the 2-point conversion is no good. It's 12-0. McCrory leads Fordyce. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Centennial Bank is committed to you. Since our founding in 1999, we've become one of the nation's most trusted banks by remembering that you come first, by empowering our communities to reach their highest potential through our dedication to local charities, education, and exceptional service. Because we are proud to call Arkansas home. Banking with you in mind. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? We need a Christmas tree. A great, big, shiny aluminum Christmas tree. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown!
For the Arkansas PBS halftime show coming up. Stay with us for the Arkansas PBS halftime show with David Basil as he talks with KATV Sports Director Steve Sullivan. We meet an inspiring announcer at Cross County Schools, and we're going to chat with Joe Phillips of the Bigelow Panthers. All that's coming up on the Arkansas PBS halftime show.
Well, I had an opportunity to go over to Bigelow and talk with Joe, and what an outstanding young man. His story is pretty awesome as it was a short kickoff, but looking forward to seeing that piece at halftime. I know his mom is watching, and that young man's going to do some big things as he grows up to be a young adult and into his career.
Got to answer here, RJ. Fordyce has fallen behind 12-0. They haven't really been able to get their offense going, just 49 yards. For Fordyce, only 27 on the ground. We'll see if they try to change things up. It's good to see Merritt back on the field, though, as he was slow to get up on the turnover. He's back there to lead the offense for the Redbucks.
Ball is at the 37-yard line, and as Fordyce has it, 1st and 10. Merritt back in the shotgun, going to run with it. He'll get it out past the 40-yard line to the 41. He'll pick up 4 on the play. We're wondering how that ankle was going to hold on him because on the last play in which he fumbled, he got a little bit gimpy.
Lathan Briley again, 55, the middle of that defense. We've called his name a few times already. Meets the quarterback right in the hole and shuts him down right there. But Fordyce, what they haven't been able to do is win first down. That time they do win first down as they pick up 4.
Fordyce spreads it back out as Merritt's going to roll to his right. And he just throws it a little too far for his outstretched receiver. And that time trying to hook up with Carmelo Allen, the junior.
That's good pressure from McCrory's defense. They force Merritt from the spot, force him to roll to his right, not able to make a clean throw to his receiver who had to step on the defender. The pressure on the quarterback messed that play up.
So it's 3rd down for Fordyce. The Redbugs are at the 41-yard line. They'll have 3 wide receivers to the near side.
Big block.
It was a nice run by Merritt as he'll be very, very close to the first down. They're going to spot him out of bounds at the 47-yard line, and that's going to be right at the sticks.
And just enough. That was a really nice block out in front by one of his receivers to help seal the edge and allow Merritt to get to the corner, and did just get enough yardage for the first down. It's actually the running back coming out of the backfield with him. Brenton Sledge lowers the shoulder. This helps seal things off so Merritt can get to the outside.
First down and 10. And the ball's on the turf. It was just pitched left side. That was into the hands of his running back, and he just got swarmed under at the 40-yard line. That time trying to get into the hands of Sledge, and it was just a debacle from the snap.
Yeah, the snap was low. That threw the timing of that play off, and Merritt still went ahead and pitched it out to his running back. It wasn't a great pitch. He had to stop his momentum to corral it, and that's why he gets dropped for a loss of 7. And Fordyce, who had a little momentum from the picking up the first down, now they're well behind the chains. Going to be second and 17.
So he lost 7 yards on the play. It's second down and 17. Sledge is going to be set up to the left of Merritt. Merritt flushed out. He's just throwing this one up, and it's going to be way out of bounds. It'll be third down.
That just threw it away, and Merritt facing a lot of pressure. That time it came from right up the middle, a big defensive tackle for McCrory. Able to push the pocket, break free, and forces the throwaway, and now it's third and long for an offense that's struggling to get anything going, RJ.
So it's third down now. Ball at the 40-yard line.
3 of 8 passing, averaging just 1.8 yards per rush. The Fordyce offense is sputtering, but all it takes is one big play. They pop one, and they get right back in this contest.
So far today, Fordyce on third down is 3 of 6. And now we've got a whistle and a timeout, and Fordyce is going to use their last timeout with 7 minutes and 11 seconds left here in the first half.
So you look at all that time left, RJ. You mentioned it. More than half of the second period is remaining, and then they're having a 7th third down attempt already. That shows you they've had to struggle for everything they've got. They've had to use the full allotment of downs that they're given. You've got to give big credit to this McCrory defense. They're staying in their lanes or maintaining their assignments and just making life difficult.
By the way, earlier we saw the sticker on the back of the McCrory helmet that said Sandbox, and there's some McCrory alumni that are in the press box that came over, and this group has been playing together since they were in grade school, and they talked about playing in the Sandbox, and so they decided to put that on the back of their helmet.
It's always great to see a small school that has the same class growing all the way up, and they've got aspirations of not only being teammates for a long time, but being successful. They get to see a lot of their older brothers or their kids that they grew up idolizing win a state championship back in 2015, and now they got a chance to continue that tradition.
Here's Merritt on third down, going big ball, has a man down at the 29-yard line. That time hooked up with Dominic Hammond as he'll be taken out of bounds down at the 24.
Yeah, kind of an out and up or a stop and go for Hammonds up the near sideline, and he did a great job of just laying it up there for him. Merritt hits him in a big play, and I mentioned, RJ, all it takes is one big play, and you can see that's a great angle of Hammonds going out and up, and he hits him in stride, and a big play for the Red Bucks.
So Fordyce will send 3 wide to the far side. Sledge will be in the backfield with Merritt. Gonna hand it to Sledge. Works it left side off a defender, and he slips down after a 2-yard, maybe 3-yard gain. So that brings up second down and 8 for Fordyce.
A methodical drive here, and they're out of timeouts. Fordyce are 15 on the play clock, so still plenty of time to get it off, but they're going to have to move a little quicker.
So 5 wide receivers in the formation for Fordyce. Merritt is alone in the backfield. He'll take it up the middle himself. Spins down at the 16-yard line. It's going to be short of the first down, and that'll bring up another 3rd down for Fordyce.
If Reed Kennan doesn't stay home and make that open field tackle, that's a walk-in touchdown for Merritt. Number 9 right in the middle of the defense. Recognizes quarterback draw, comes up and makes the play, but that might have been an even bigger play, if not 6 points, if Kennan doesn't make that tackle on the QB.
So 3rd down and 2 with the ball at the 16. 4 wide receivers in the formation. Sledge is in the backfield. Merritt going to keep it himself once again, trying to get the edge. Going for the first down, and Bobby, I don't know if he got it. It's going to be really close.
It's a great job on McCrory's defense to stretch that out. This design quarterback sweep to the outside. And he's got the ability to cut it up at any point he sees a seam, but the Jaguar defense, nice job of staying in their lanes and continues to force that one to the outside. And it is going to be a 4th down.
Yeah, he got back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down and 2.
Mass substitutions. They bring all those receivers out. The big linemen coming in. Now go back to that wing T look and see if they can just pick up these 2 yards on the ground.
Look at that big number 78 on that far side for Fordyce. That is Tyler Davis. Here's Sledge. Oh, no, that's not Sledge. That's his running back, Walker, who checked in the ball game. He walks into the end zone for the first Fordyce touchdown.
They just trusted those big bodies up front, RJ, and Walker breaks through initial wave, runs through an arm tackle, and Walker gets back into the end zone. His 9th touchdown of the season, and this game far from over.
On to kick the extra point is Andy Luna. The kick is away, and it is good as it barely got in to the right side of that upright, and we've got a 12-7 McCrory lead with 5:23 to play here in the second quarter.
That's a big bounce-back drive right there to get the offense going. You finally pop a big play in the passing game as Merritt hit his receiver up the sideline for 36 yards, and then the ground game, Walker just breaks free and gets into the end zone, the extra point. All of a sudden, things are going to get real interesting as Fordyce not only back in the game, they get the ball to start the second half. Of course, there's plenty of time left here in the second quarter for both these teams to do something.
So they'll tee it up at the 40-yard line, and every kick from Luna so far has been a short kick. Artavius Harrison back there, and now they'll take it at the 15. Best kick of the day. Now here's a run out past the 30, close to the 35. They'll take him down right at the 35. And so that was 34, and it'll be 1st and 10 for McCrory at that point.
Now we'll see how the Jaguars respond. Fordyce came back and bounced around, got a response score. Now we'll see what the Jaguars can do.
There's a look right now at Kason Campbell, the quarterback for McCrory.
You got to be able to stunt that momentum. Fordyce getting their crowd into it. A nice answer drive would be big for McCrory right before the half.
There's a handoff that goes to Neal, and he'll take it out to the 35 for a 1-yard gain.
Not much doing there as the Fordyce defensive front held their ground. And they take down Neal just beyond the line of scrimmage.
Clock rolls at 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Three wide receivers are going to be on the near side of the formation as Campbell takes the shotgun snap. He'll swing it out, and that time was able to hook up with his wide receiver. And
Wheeler.
That was Wheeler who just slid to the turf, and I think he got a yard, and that'll now bring up 3rd down and 8 for McCrory.
It's kind of a timing right there. Just hits receiver on a quick out, but you mentioned he goes down to a knee and slides to a stop. The pro game, that would have had a chance to catch and run, but there, the high school level, it's been immediately blown dead and starting long.
Here's Campbell looking to throw. As a receiver, picks up the first down. Out to the 47-yard line. That time was able to hook up with Reese Rushing.
It's a great job by Rushing to find a hole in the zone, to sit down in it, and Campbell just delivered a laser right to his receiver, and they moved the chains in a much-needed first down. That's exactly how you design that play. You just find a little seam in the defense, you sit down in it, Campbell delivers it on time, move the chains.
Fresh set of downs for McCrory as the ball's at the 47. Gonna hand it off straight up the middle. This is Neal. He's got running room all the way down to the 26-yard line. What a big run.
Great job by the offensive front. They seal off a nice running lane for Neal. He explodes through it. And a big gain for McCrory. The backside guard pulls, kicks out. I believe that was 55. Briley gets the kick out block. And that's allowed the big running lane.
Now here's Kennan. Kennan will get 2 yards on the play, and that'll bring up second down. Look at those rushing numbers. McCrory 79 yards rushing, Fordyce 54.
And if you would have told the two coaching staffs before the game that's what the numbers are going to be late first half, McCrory would have said, I'll take that every day. Fordyce wouldn't have been happy with it because they know they need to run the football to be successful.
I would have, coming into this game, if I would have told you that McCrory or that Fordyce would have been leading in the passing department, I think you might have kind of looked at me kind of crazy. So it's second down now. Ball at the 23-yard line.
See 55 in your screen right there. Briley, he's making plays on both sides. The linebacker and the offensive guard.
Timeout. McCrory, their second.
So now McCrory has only got one timeout remaining with 2:46 to play here in the second quarter.
It's a big drive for McCrory. Not only a response drive, but you want to chew up as much of this clock as you can. You know, Fordyce has got a little momentum offensively. You don't want to give them the football back, the chance to chip into your lead or potentially take their own lead before we head to intermission.
Well, and think about this, Bobby. McCrory won the toss, and they elected to receive the football first. So Fordyce is going to get it. So if McCrory can score here before the half, that would be big momentum going into the locker room.
It really would be. I mean, you're talking about, you know, you stunt all the momentum that Fordyce just got with that score, and they're able to respond, and you take the air out of the sails, if you will, the crowd on the near side for Fordyce, and you give yourself all the momentum at halftime.
So it's second down and 7 as Campbell's going to be in the shotgun. Neal's going to be offset to his left. Going to hand it to Neal. Neal just dives forward, gets a yard on the play to bring up third down.
Yeah, a whole heap of bodies right there in the middle. Led the way, Dakota Wimberly, number 30 for Fordyce. Merritt's also there. A huge third down upcoming.
Third down and 7.
So it's third down and 7 with the ball at the 22-yard line. Here's Campbell all day to throw. Now he's going to run. Has nowhere to go, as it looks like he may have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. And so that'll bring up fourth down.
Brenton Sledge among the Redbug defenders who got their hands on the quarterback. And just got him just beyond the line of scrimmage, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. But it's going to be fourth down, and I'd expect McCrory to take every bit of this 40-second play clock, maybe run this down, take a timeout and think about it.
And you know, Bobby, if you're McCrory, you might think about trying to set up a screen pass or something like that to open the field. There's 3 wide receivers to the top side. Here's a pass. It's caught past the first down marker. And that time coming up with the catch for McCrory, it was Reese Rushing.
Rushing is the go-to receiver. That's been clear today. He had the big catch that got behind the defense in the first quarter that set up the touchdown. And now he's been able to find a couple holes in this Fordyce defense and come through in big moments. But again, Campbell with a great delivery on time to his receiver.
3 wide to the near side. Hands it to Neal again. He tries to work it to the outside and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Allen, Wimberly combined for the play there.
We're under a minute to play here in the first half.
Second down and 10.
Campbell going to look to throw. Goes to the end zone. It's intercepted in the end zone. It's taken by Fordyce's Jacoby Walker, and Walker is going to go out of bounds. That's a big turnover for the Redbugs.
What a great job by Walker there, and they needed a play defensively to make sure this stays a one-possession game going into the half, and he just makes the interception in the end zone, brings it out past the 20, just shy of the 20, and that is a huge momentum swing going into the locker room.
Look at this replay right here. It was a good throw, but just he never saw him.
I think that's just more better coverage. Walker kind of undercut the post route and ran the route just as well as the receiver did, makes the play. And you can see he's a playmaker once he gets the ball in his hands.
Both teams now with one turnover in the ball game.
Don't forget, you can join the football conversation on social media. Just use the hashtag ARPBSSports.
So it's 1st and 10 with 34 seconds left as the ball's at the 17. Merritt's under center. Going to hand it off. And he lost the handle on it. McCrory says they came up with it. They do. How about that, Bobby? He just lost. He was running and it fell out of his hands.
Yeah, you knew Fordyce was going to, with no timeouts, they were going to be content just running the football once and getting it to the half, but they try the trap play and is not able to secure the football. It looks like Marquez Roper, this ball just completely comes out of his hands. There was no defender really right in his face. It slips out. McCrory right there to jump on the loose ball, and now they've got a chance to atone for their previous mistake and put some points on the board the last 30 seconds of this first half.
That's the first carry for Roper of the ball game, and it's a turnover. Now here's Campbell. Going to hand it to Neal. Neal straight up the middle. Has a running lane down to the 10-yard line. He's a yard shy of the first down. There's 20 seconds and counting left here in the second quarter. McCrory has one timeout.
Kind of a delayed draw there to Neal. A lot of time running off here. They're going to be under 10 seconds by the time they snap it.
Down to 7 seconds. Campbell going to look to run. Campbell still on his feet at the 5. He dives. Is he in? He's in for the touchdown.
The last play of the first half. Thought McCrory might have shot themselves in the foot by not taking a timeout. But a quarterback did it all with his legs and reaches for the goal line. They call for a score, and we'll have to look for the replay to see if he indeed did cross the goal line.
Yeah, there may be a replay if his knee got down because he had to stretch out for the goal line on this one. If you're McCrory, I think you want to get up there and get this thing off. And it does look like there's going to be a replay.
Let's a good look at it here. That right knee might have been down before he extended the right arm. That's a pretty good look at it there.
Well, I tell you, that's a great athletic effort by Campbell to stretch out like that. It's going to be incredibly close, Bobby.
It really is. I mean, that right knee, as he was extending his right arm, might have come down, and the ball was about the 1 yard line. Let's see if we can take another look at it. You know, it's important to remember the ruling on the field was a touchdown, so there's got to be evidence to overturn it. Watch his right knee. Right there.
Yeah, I think he's short.
I think he's reaching out for the goal line, and just remember, the ball doesn't have to cross the goal line. It has to just to touch the white paint right here. It does look like his right knee comes down before that ball touches the plane.
That is a tough. I mean, initial look at it, Bobby, it looks like he may be short, but it's got to be without a doubt, right?
It does. And right there, I think shows enough video evidence that he was down short of the goal line. There's going to be a different angle at it.
And don't forget, I mean, the images you're seeing on your TV at home, that's what the replay guys are looking at.
Knee comes down. You see where the football's at right there. And I think that replay, and you kind of line it up with the previous angle, and you kind of add the pieces together. If I'm in that booth, I probably say he's down. But we'll have to wait and see what the officials in the booth about 4 doors down from us have to say about it.
the officials are still looking at it. I mean, they're taking a long look at it. And
so I don't believe we have a down the line shot right down the goal line, and that may be the difference, RJ.
Yeah.
You can't tell exactly since the camera angle is at an angle. You can't see if the ball is across the plane or touching the plane of the goal line before that knee hits.
And here's the thing. This is a huge play.
It is, well, no doubt.
This is a huge. There's no time left on the first half clock, and this could give McCrory a ton of momentum going into the locker room.
That spot right there where they've got it frozen, I think that tells me he's down short of the goal line.
But one thing you don't know, I mean,
is where the football
is in relation to the goal line. I mean,
we can see the real estate between his knee and the goal line. You know how tall he is. So now we're getting really into the weeds of it. You know, his arm's not 9 feet or 3 feet long, and I don't think he got there. Great effort. I just think he came up about a half a foot short.
Okay, our official today, William Fry, has taken the headset off and he's talking with his umpire, and let's get the call.
Now another aspect we've touched on, is there any time left on the clock when his knee hit?
That they may have been looking at that as well.
And McCrory does have a timeout.
After review, the ruling is that the player was down on the 1 yard line with 1 second left.
Wow. So they get 1 second left. Now
set the clock to 1 second.
And so McCrory will take their timeout to stop the clock. And so they get another shot at it. I think they got the call right.
So there's your timeout. Okay, so you've got 1 second. McCrory calls their timeout. They have no more. And you've got the ball at the 1 yard line. What are you calling, Bobby?
You've had a lot of success running the football right up the middle, whether it's with Neal or whether it's with Campbell, the quarterback, or even Kennan. So they've had some success running the football, as there's another angle at it. I don't think you need to get cute. I mean, there's no point trying to put the ball in the air. Just trust your offensive linemen, trust your running backs to pick up a yard, and try to go in the half up 2 scores.
Yeah, I mean, Reed Kennan and Latrell Neal have both been really impressive today for McCrory. But do you think, I mean, you know that Fordyce is going to stack the box right at the middle, being at the 1. Do you almost bounce it outside and try to get something on the edge?
Yeah, and this may be a check with me type situation, too. You line up, and you see what Fordyce is going to line up defensively. You see where they put the big bodies in the interior, and maybe you check the play and audible it to something different.
So McCrory's going to have 4 wide receivers in the formation. Campbell's going to be under center. Campbell's going to keep it himself, trying to get into the end zone. And he's in for the touchdown.
Second effort and the extra push from behind, able to get the Jaguars offense into the end zone, and a big momentum swing in the final second of this first half.
He didn't have it at first, Bobby.
He didn't. It was a great job defensively to stop the initial push, but that's why you see the running back lineup so close to the quarterback behind him. He's able to push him in. It used to be called aiding the runner. They've kind of gotten rid of that rule, and you can see Kennan, number 9, pushes his quarterback across the goal line and for the score.
3 plays, 19 yards. It took 28 seconds. Really took a little bit longer. Took about 10 minutes, but either way, McCrory's got the 1 yard touchdown. It's 18-7, and now McCrory's going to go for 2.
Already an 11-point lead, trying to push it up to 13. Fordyce trying to get a stop right before the half.
Going to hand it off to Kennan. Kennan going to dive for the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good.
Good cut.
And it's now 20-7 in favor of McCrory as we go to the locker room. Kyle Sutherland is going to head. He's going to be with the McCrory head coach here momentarily. And how about that, boy? All the momentum goes with McCrory into the locker room.
Those final 30 seconds was all McCrory. You think they're going to go dejected after they throw an interception in the end zone. They get the gift of a fumble. They take advantage thanks to a review. And now they've got a 13-point advantage.
But Let's head down to Kyle Sutherland on the sidelines.
Chris, a huge score there to end the half, but we've seen Fordyce this year. They've definitely been known to have some comebacks. What do you tell your guys to keep up this momentum?
Well, without a doubt, they're a second-half team. We've watched all the film on them, and we know those guys are going to come out. They've been here as many times as they have for no reason. So, we just tell our guys to keep doing what they're doing and don't change anything.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kyle. As that was Chris Kennan as his McCrory Jaguars lead 20-7 as we head to halftime, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. With our busy lives today, we often forget the greatest gift of Christmas. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. I hope all of us will take the time and share the love of Christ this season. May your holidays be filled with joy and blessings. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Everett.
We are at the half where McCrory, they lead the Fordyce Redbugs by a score of 20-7. I'm RJ Hawk along with Bobby Swafford. And Bobby, huge momentum for McCrory going into the locker room if they got that last touchdown.
The last 30 to 40 seconds of that first half had the motions going up and down on both sides. Fordyce thinks they come up with a big defensive stop. They get the interception in the end zone. Well, the very next play where they're just going to run the football once, run out the clock, go into the half down just 12-7. Instead, they turn the football over, give McCrory a second chance, and what good teams do with second chances, they take advantage, and that was a huge swing of momentum.
Offensively for Fordyce, they were really just inconsistent there in the first half.
They couldn't get the push going up front. A lot of the credit has to go to the play of the McCrory defense. You take away the big pass play of the Blues about 44 yards down the sideline. Fordyce hasn't been able to get anything going offensively. As Coach Kennan just said, though, Fordyce is the second half team. They've been in a lot of close games all season long. This game is far from over.
If you remember last week in that semifinal game for Fordyce, they won 7-6, and they trailed the entire game. Right. It was 6-0 the entire game. They came back and got the lone touchdown they needed.
Yeah, but with the playmakers they have at running back and even at quarterback, all it takes is one play. As soon as they find a seam, one broken tackle in space, it could be a big play up the sideline. This game is far from over, and these two teams are going to, at the half, they're probably both feeling not terrible about themselves, but obviously McCrory loving where they're sitting.
We have an exciting halftime coming up for you throughout this 20 minutes or so that we have during the 2A state championship. Stick around. You don't want to miss any of the interviews. David Basil, Steve Sullivan, they're all up next as you're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. At Big Red Stores, we're always proud to sponsor, support, and partner up with many events and activities throughout the community. Among them, high school championships throughout the state of Arkansas. At Big Red Stores, our team members are always ready to assist you to make your visit with us a pleasant one. And at Big Red Stores, we recognize that none of our support or ability to serve the community is possible without you. That's why at Big Red Stores, you're always the MVP of the Big Red team. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the second weekend of state championship action here on Arkansas PBS. I'm your host, David Basil. Welcome to the halftime show, sponsored by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Tonight, we're going to introduce you to a very determined young play-by-play announcer who has risen above some unique challenges to practice her craft. And later, RJ Hawk sits down with student athlete Joe Phillips, a major playmaker for the Bigelow Panthers. But first, my buddy Steve Sullivan is no stranger to talking Arkansas sports. Fans from all over the state tune in for Friday night touchdowns to get his take on the games. We're lucky to have him here to get his thoughts on the 2021 season. Buddy, thanks for being here. I know this is a busy time for you.
Yeah, great to be here. Love state championship time.
Oh, Sully, listen, you've covered college, pro, everything, but I think for you, high school sports is the most important.
Yeah, I look at it on Friday night, that touchdown may be the only touchdown that player scores, so I want to make it special. Question for you. What do Darren McFadden, Peyton Hillis, Keith Jackson have in common? Three great, Matt Jones.
They're all from Arkansas. They're Arkansas athletes. I do not know. What is it?
None of them played for state championship.
Ah, how about that?
Football is the ultimate team sport. Did you play for state title?
I did not. How about that? Well, you want to rub it in? Is that what you're doing there? But you know, one of the things you do too, you've done it for many, many years, you come up with nicknames for players. Well, how did that happen?
Yeah, Mickey D, the touchdown machine. Yeah. The great Basile Shabazz was the first one.
Right. And players will come up and say, thank you for my nickname.
Well, some will. One guy, unfortunately, we called him a name he didn't like, and everyone started calling him that name. But
yes. Has the high school sports changed, in your opinion, over the decades you've covered ball?
They have. I mean, just think of the time put in, the facilities. It's gotten better and bigger. The great thing I love about the state championships, and I love about the state of Arkansas, it's so different. It's a clash of cultures sometimes, the championship games. Right. Great example, when McClellan played Pulaski Academy, those schools are, say, 10 miles apart. They're so totally different. And those kids may never see each other in life again, but for that 2 hours in the football field, they'll gain a respect for each other. And I love seeing the cultures clash, the private schools battle the public schools, and it's just the memories that last forever. I got guys my age I went to school with, they still talk about their championships in McCrory. Jerry John Sallings was the quarterback, and Big Bob Keene was on the line, and that was back 30, 40 years ago. And that's the great thing about Arkansas, is the memories you'll get from this week.
Yeah, it's great, too, for those who don't know Sully, to see him on a Friday night, man. It's serious business.
Yeah, I'm competing.
Yes,
I put on a game jersey, and my greatest championship memory was Shabazz.
Yes.
Pine Bluff played Texarkana, but Texarkana came in. They'd allowed 12 points all year. And I wore a jersey, and it had 19, because their big back was Terrell Dean from Texarkana. They both have the same colors, maroon, and 19 on the back, Shabazz. And someone asked me, why do you have Dean on the front and Shabazz on the back? Because that's all you're going to see is the back of Shabazz's jersey. But you remember the names and the games, and Burks.
Yes. Oh, yeah, listen, all these
Maybe the greatest performance, second greatest to Shabazz in the championship game, and Traylon still remembers. It was a losing effort against Arkadelphia. When he had the big game this year for the Razorbacks at War Memorial, he was reminded, that smile brought, a smile on his face, because those brought up those memories he had with Warren.
Well, you've made it a special deal to cover high school sports. I want to thank you. You're a good buddy of mine, and you've made sports more interesting, and especially at the high school level. There's guys that you've given them nicknames, and they'll remember them forever. And so thank you for doing what you do. We appreciate that. Steve's one of the best in the world at what he does. He really is. It's a man's world. James Brown sang that back in 1966. And in the world of play-by-play announcing, that has traditionally been true. But women are making great inroads as announcers. We want to introduce you to a young lady at Cross County High School, honing her craft as a play-by-play announcer, all while overcoming a unique set of challenges. Meet Lexi Jarrett.
What's up, you guys, and welcome to CCHS Live. I'm Lexi Jarrett, welcoming you tonight's matchup. So I always knew that I wanted to go into the sports field. I just didn't know how, so I didn't want to play sports because I was not gifted with any athletic abilities. And that's whenever I realized that I could be a sports analyst. Trying to find a path to send it.
But she can immediately flip the switch where she is just like camera ready.
They're going to be moving the chains on that one. That's it. Good to Davey. Oh, loose ball. And that's going to be a touchdown for your Cross County Thunderbirds. So it's 11. Okay. So that's 12 timeouts in the game. There's 11. Probably set. We're going to use all our timeouts. I'm the first female sports commentator for the school, and I've just always been real fascinated with it. So I think it's a way to kind of tell a story and get to show personality through audio. So to come back with that, we see Coach Hill, the team's personal hot man, hyping everybody up.
She's been doing it since I believe her 8th grade year, and being an anchor and being, analysis and going over stuff. And, each year she's gotten better.
She was a super confident kid. She likes being in action. She likes getting to talk to these coaches, and she is not scared to stick a microphone in someone's face.
All right, what's up, you guys? I'm here fieldside with AJ Bill, one of our seniors here on your Cross County Thunderbird football team.
Always researching, always asking questions, always watching her own live feed throughout the week and trying to find things that maybe she could do better. The live stream is giving her those opportunities just to grow. Right. With trips, there's going to be 3 receivers. Bunch is when all 3 of them are bunched up together.
Yeah, I know. 1, 2, 3. Bunch right, bunch left. I learned that one this week. Okay, Baltimore going to hand it off, trying to run up the center. They're going to be brought down, looks like around the 31-yard line. Whenever I first started, I wasn't the best commentator, and the way I would practice was turning on Chiefs games and just commentating it without the audio.
What's it called when the quarterback changes the play?
An audible.
Audible, good. There you go. And when she loves something, then she goes, head over heels, full throttle to do whatever it is she's into.
One-handed catch on the sideline, running down through the goal. Caught it. I mean, freaking Spider-Man did it. The play of the season. Play of the year.
Play of the year?
Yes.
I'll quote you on that.
She has a story that is unlike any that most people think of when you think of someone in a position. She's overcome a lot in a really short amount of time.
Middle school, 5th grade, 4th grade, just the tics that she has started with just head jerking, head nodding.
The earliest memory I had was at that time I was at my grandma's house, and I remember making this face. I really didn't think anything of it, but my grandma was always like, you need to stop faking that face or you're gonna create a habit of it. And that's whenever I started noticing it. I at the time didn't know what Tourette's was. I was just like, maybe I just have something weird going on. Challenge is actually the motor portions of it. So I had vocal tics in the past. They're not as prominent now, but my biggest thing is my head shakes. It looks like I'm agreeing with people a lot, and so that just really gets in the way. My neck will get super tired, so I'll be exhausted by the end of the day. Then whenever I commentate, my headset will move. So my mic, you'll hear random things, and it's like my mic either touching my face somehow, or it's dropping up and down because my head's moving.
Definitely been times where things have been said, and sometimes the students knew what they were saying. Sometimes they just didn't know that she had Tourette's.
Even though they're not made to be hurtful, those can sometimes really bother me and get me insecure about it. And I think that's honestly probably the biggest part of it, is just having to deal with the little comments that are made that aren't meant to be hurtful. They just kind of end up that way.
AJ looking here, trying to find a pass, gonna send it. Being a woman in the sports field, it's something that I'm super passionate about. Wanting to make a change and leave my mark on that field is what drives me.
What Lexi has to struggle with day to day is what makes her so great at what she does. When that mic comes on, she kind of puts all that stuff on the back burner and she just runs with it.
Make my family proud and make those that have seen me go through what happened in the past to what I am now. I think that's also very motivating.
She found her passion, she's found what she wants to do, and she's going after it full force.
Signing off from CCHS Live, I'm Lexi Jarrett.
Go, Lexi, go. Who knows? She may be helping us out with these broadcasts soon. And just like Lexi over the airwaves, offensive and defensive lineman Joe Phillips of the Bigelow Panthers has been making himself heard all season. He and RJ Hawk took time to chat about the season and his future plans.
All right, Joe, Bigelow, Arkansas, small town, USA. You're a really interesting cat because your dad's the local preacher. You've been doing football and hanging out with your buddies since 7th grade. This has really been a family for you, right?
Yes, sir, it has been. And we're like family. If you don't know them, you're going to know us.
What's interesting about you and this football team is that just a few years ago, you did not win a football game. And now I mean, at this point, you're undefeated, one of the top seeds in the state of Arkansas. What's that journey been like?
I don't know. Last year, everybody called us the Cinderella story, and when we played Des Arc at Des Arc, we knew going in there it was going to be a really hard game, and this year I think we've kind of proved that Bigelow's here to stay.
Let's talk something away from football for a minute. I mentioned a minute ago your dad. He's a minister here in town. What's that like? I mean, not only are you a senior, and everybody looks up to the seniors, but I mean, you can't get in trouble in Bigelow or your dad's going to find out.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a problem every once in a while. I do something in school or I say something I probably shouldn't be saying. He's going to find out about it.
You think about your entire playing time at Bigelow. There's one rivalry that always sticks out. It's Perryville.
Yes.
And they've had your numbers for the last few years until this year.
Perryville don't seem to like us in football, and we don't seem to like them in football. And it's just, out of sports, Bigelow and Perryville, I mean, it's like we're in the same town. Everybody mourns together, everybody laughs together. But when it comes to high school football and high school sports, the calls come out.
What was that atmosphere like? I mean, I would imagine last person out of town turn off the lights.
Everybody was there. It was like playing at War Memorial when everybody's there. It's a great atmosphere. Everybody's just laughing. Everybody's having a good time,
One thing that you talked about with me prior to this interview was that life after school, after high school, you want to go into nursing.
I've always wanted to help people. My mom and my dad, they both raised me, be a respectful young man, always help people that are in need. And I really looked at my options and looked what I was good at, and I think nursing is where I can go to help people the most.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the time, buddy. And,
thank you.
Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All the best to Joe. That's it for halftime. Remember that you can revisit his story as well as all the other great halftime coverage from Arkansas PBS by going to myarpbs.org/sign up. I'm David Basil. Let's get you back to the action at War Memorial for the conclusion of the 2A championship game on your home for the high school state finals, Arkansas PBS.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
It's 20-7 here at War Memorial as that sunset starts to go behind the press box here at War Memorial Stadium. We've got a whole half of the 2A state championship left, Bobby, and if the first half was anything like what the second half is going to be like, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think this opening drive of this third quarter is going to be really big. Fordyce is going to get the football to start. All the momentum in the final minute went the other direction. It went to McCrory side. So Fordyce has the 20 minutes to kind of rally the troops, to gather their thoughts, and also put that first half behind them. We'll see what they try to do, try to put together offensively. They struggled to score last week. They only scored 7 points in the victory over Clarendon. They're going to need at least 13 more here in the second half. They want to extend this game. And so I think you're going to try to find a way to get to Jairick Walker. He didn't get enough touches, in my opinion, in that first half.
Now let's go ahead and take a look at some first half highlights that we had there in the first half, because you know what, really in a 20-7 game, there was you were wondering, is this thing ever going to get going? And it really did in the second quarter as both teams made their way onto the playing surface, and really it was all Fordyce and it was really all McCrory the first quarter, and Fordyce just sputtered throughout there in the first quarter of play.
Yeah, well, the one thing that really jumped out to me, and you can't kind of say this about both sides, it never really had a clear flow to it. 166 yards of offense for McCrory, 114 for Fordyce, but defense made plays, a lot of tackles for a loss. There's a couple challenges that slowed the game down. It just never seemed to have a really nice flow to it, as that first half took well over an hour and a half, if you include the halftime. And so, maybe see if that threw Fordyce off, and the Red Bugs have made another wardrobe change. They're going back to the black jerseys.
The only time in state championship games that I've ever seen a team change uniforms at halftime was Pulaski Academy, because they've got about 14 different uniforms over at PA, but now Fordyce they started in the red uniforms, now they're coming out in the black and white uniforms, so we'll see those here in the second half. But yeah, really, we've seen defensive play after defensive play here in the first half, and even though you've got a 20-7 score, I think you credit both these defenses for playing really well.
I mean, you're talking about limiting Fordyce to 114 yards, and the play defensively for McCrory, as we see what the quarterback's been able to do, Merritt, a couple times. He's had some open targets. He hasn't been able to hit them because of pressure. They've had to force him off the spot, and he hasn't been able to set his feet and make accurate throws. As Fordyce in that first half, just 4 of 9 passing. So a lot of credit goes to that defense. They're making plays in open field, and that's why they've got a 20-7 lead.
Hey, let's head down the sidelines as Kyle has Tim Rogers.
Coach, this is not unfamiliar territory for you guys. You've had some comebacks already this season. What'd you tell your guys at halftime?
I told them, made a lot of mistakes, and I told them I've been doing this 38 years, and that's probably one of the dumbest things I've ever done in my life right there towards the end of the half. And I told the kids I'll take responsibility for it. I'm not going to place it on anybody else. My coaches are hollering, take a knee. I don't know why I did that. I just went dumb, I guess. But hopefully the kids will come out, overcome coaching, and hopefully, we've been in this situation before. So the kids have overcome coaching before, and I'm hoping, and we'll get after the second half, and they'll probably overcome coaching again here in the second half.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Kyle, as that was Tim Rogers. He's honest.
Yep, he's taking the blame. What he's referring to is the fumble right before the half. They run the trap play, which actually had a pretty big hole, had a chance to pick up some yardage, but they didn't have timeouts to stop the clock, and then all they had to do was run one play, take one knee, and they could have gotten to the half. But instead, they turn it over, allow McCrory to get into the end zone on the final play of regulation in that second quarter, and that's why it's a 13-point margin. But you like a coach. He's going to take the blame when it's on him, and that time he says it's on him. He fell on the sword, and now his team, which he's a very good coach, mind you. He's been doing it a long time. He's won a lot of games. The reason they're a defending state champion, they're not out of this one by any means.
Hey, let's take a look at the first half stats for this 2A state championship game. As in the first half, passing, really, Fordyce had 58 yards passing. McCrory had 65 on the ground. McCrory had 101 yards rushing compared to the 56 for Fordyce. Total yardage is in favor of McCrory with 166 to the 114 for Fordyce. But I think the turnovers, Bobby, is where you can really point the finger for Fordyce.
Yeah, those turnovers resulted in points, all 14 points to be exact. For McCrory. But the one thing that's not on that stat sheet, and that's really not something that you think about, except for when it happens, is starting field position. McCrory hasn't had to march a full 80 yards. Every time they've received a kickoff that's been right around the 40 to the 45-yard line, they got advantage of the turnover that they started inside the 30, and turnovers have a lot to do with that. They're taking advantage of good field position. Now Fordyce needs to try to flip that advantage going their way.
Well, both teams have made their way back onto the playing surface here at War Memorial Stadium. We've got about a minute 30 left until the second half starts. Some keys to the game for both teams.
For Fordyce, I think you got to get the ball to the guy we talked about at the start of the broadcast, and that's Jeremy Walker, number 6. Find a way to get him the ball in space, or just trust the run game. Give the ball to him, time and time again. Use that size of your offensive line to try to wear down that McCrory defense. And going back the other direction, there's not a whole lot I would change if you're McCrory, especially defensively. The alignment they have, they're able to establish the line of scrimmage, even though they're undersized against that Fordyce offensive front. They're doing a good job. And I think, another score, they might be able to put this game away.
Well, it ought to be a lot of fun. I would imagine the one thing that really didn't work really well was Fordyce when they went back to that 3 yards in the cloud of dust. It just didn't really work for them there in the first half.
Yeah, that's because they're not winning at the line of scrimmage. Those big guys, even though they have the size advantage, they're not moving the point of impact. They're not moving that line of scrimmage. When good wing teams are successful, as soon as they snap the football, the line of scrimmage goes from here to here. Well, right now, it's not moving. And when it's a stalemate up front, that's a win for the defense.
Well, we are about set for second half action as it looks like Fordyce, they are going to receive the second half kick, and McCrory's about to kick off to start the second half. Look at the weather. It's dropped about 10 degrees since we started this ball game. It's 42 degrees in the second half. We do have clear skies, but a 7-mile-an-hour wind out of the southeast. And so as the game goes on, the colder it's going to get. I know last night in that 4A game, those footballs started to get really hard as the colder it got. So we'll watch out for that throughout this game as well. McCrory's going to be set to kick away as we start the second half. And it is a short kick, almost an onside kick, that is going to be recovered down at the 47-yard line in McCrory territory. That was not, I don't think, how they wanted to start the second half.
No, it's a great start for Fordyce. We talked about the field position game, and now they get to start a drive on the plus side of the 50. And all it's going to take is one play here, another play there, a key block, and pop your running back free, and Fordyce could get right back in this game in a hurry.
So I just got a text that the switch of the uniforms is nothing new for Fordyce, that it's a good luck charm for them to switch and go into the second half with a different uniform.
I'm a fan of the all-black with the white helmets. That's a nice, clean look, and those numbers are easy to read.
So here we go for Fordyce, as with the football is Merritt, and he escapes one tackle, retreats, and has nothing going, as he'll be taken down all the way back at the 42-yard line. That is a huge loss for Fordyce.
And Landon Headley is the one who's going to get credited with the big tackle for loss, but those defensive linemen up front made the play. They held up Merritt at the point of attack, and then Headley finishes him off, and they drop him way behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 11.
So it'll bring up second down and 21 with the ball at the Fordyce 42-yard line. Merritt's going to look to throw. Has a man left side, that's Walker, and he dropped it.
Yeah, that's what you want to do right there. They get Walker on the shallow cross. You hit him in stride, and he had a chance to run after the catch and pick up a lot of that yardage back and then some, but he didn't secure the football. Now it's 3rd and a mile for the Redbugs.
Trey Merritt in the first half, 4 of 10 passing for 58 yards.
That one doesn't go on him. He delivered a good ball, had good protection from up front. Receivers got to help him out.
Here's the 3rd down play for Trey Merritt. Looking downfield, has a man. That time hooked up with Hammonds, and Hammonds fell out of bounds at the 43-yard line. It's going to be well short of the first down.
It's a great job, though. You know you're likely going to go for it on 4th down. They pick up about 11 of that, RJ, and get themselves into a 4th and manageable.
So it's 4th down. Today on 4th down, the Redbugs are 1 of 2. Three wide receivers to the top side of the formation. Merritt going to roll to his left, under pressure, dumps it off as they're going to call it an incomplete pass, and that's going to be a turnover on downs for Fordyce. And actually probably a good play, Bobby, because if he takes the sack back there, that gives McCrory great field position.
And you may be asking, how is that not intentional grounding? But the blocker that was out there with the quarterback was actually his running back, an eligible receiver. So that's why it's not intentional grounding, but still a big loss. And it's going to be a turnover on downs.
Well, they're spotting the ball at the 45-yard line.
I don't think they realized that was 4th down.
Yeah.
The officials haven't flipped sides of the field.
Yeah, I mean, because the ball was, they're gonna say it's an incomplete pass, so McCrory's gonna get the ball back at the 43-yard line in their own territory.
A great job defensively. Your defense kind of not backed all the way up against the wall, but you start the second half, and Fordyce has got the drive in your territory. And they don't give up much. Those McCrory, now their offense is back out on the field with all that momentum they are able to muster in the final 30 seconds of that first half.
Shadows have taken over the entire field here at Simmons Bank Field. And it's 1st and 10 for McCrory.
Got to switch the leather.
It's a very long, drawn-out delay in between flipping out the footballs. Here we go. 1st and 10. Here's Campbell handing it off to Neal. Has a running lane out to the 50-yard line. Great first run by Latrell Neal.
As we cue up the replay in this, I want you to watch the center before McCrory against the nose tackle for Fordyce. You're talking about a size advantage or disadvantage, and look, he turns him and creates the running lane right there. What a great job by 65 from McCrory. Clay Hollowell listed at 5'10", 205, and establishes that running line even though he's given up probably about 100 pounds.
Here's Neal once again. He bobbled the snap, and He's going to pick up 2 yards on the play to bring up third down.
That shows you as an offensive lineman, it's not about size, it's about leverage. As long as you've got proper footwork and you keep your hands inside, you can move a much larger body as long as you've got the proper technique, and that's a great job by Hollowell on that first down play.
So it's 3rd down and 2 with the ball at the Fordyce 49-yard line. Campbell has 3 backs in the backfield. Going to hand it off to Kennan this time. Kennan stretches out past the 45, and he will get the first down as they'll spot it at the 45-yard line.
Got just enough of a push up front, and McCrory's offensive line is starting to move that line of scrimmage. It's ever so slightly. As long as they're going backwards, talk about the Fordyce defensive line, that's going to equal good opportunities for big play chances, I should say, for McCrory. This follows the lead blocker, Neal, and gets the 3 yards he needed.
1st and 10. Neal's in the backfield with Campbell. As Campbell's going to take it himself. Works it past the 45 and takes it down to the 42-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down.
So they go run up the middle, run up the middle, run up the middle, and then they go quarterback to the outside. But Fordyce recognized that and held that to just a pickup of 3.
Down to 9 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter as McCrory leading Fordyce 20-7 in the 2A state championship game. Now here's Kennan with the run, right side, stiff arm, out past the 35 and taken down to the 32-yard line. That was a huge stiff arm he laid to get to the first down.
That's a great job by Kennan. They tried the speed sweep. They get him the ball trying to get to the outside, and he uses that off arm, the left hand, and pushes away the defender and picks up extra yardage after. That's a great look at it. His hand on the face. You're not bringing me down. I'll pick up some extra yards after contact.
So it's 1st and 10, ball at the 32-yard line. 8:20 and counting here in the 3rd. Campbell going to hand it off to Neal. Running lane in the middle. Big chunks of yards as he'll get 9 that time.
The interior blocking for McCrory has been really impressive on this drive, RJ. The center and the guards are doing their job. They're creating just enough space for the running backs to sneak through and get to that next level. That time it was a trap play that pulled the guard, and 63 makes the seal-out block, Hayden Fields. That's simple physics. You get him going upfield, you get the guard to come over and kick him out, you run right behind him.
2nd down and 1. Neal's in the backfield. Campbell hands it to him. Has a running lane again out past the 20 to the 19. He's got a fresh set of downs for McCrory.
That play looked a little congested in the backfield. They try counter Trey. They pull the right guard and right tackle. They got kind of held up in the congestion, but they didn't need much for the first down. They were able to pick it up.
You know, looking at the defensive line for Fordyce compared to the McCrory offensive line, they are a bigger defensive line, but right now, McCrory's getting a bigger push.
They're winning at the line of scrimmage, and it's all about will and want to up there. And you know, from what I've seen, the technique advantage that McCrory has, their pad level is lower, and that's what would win it at the point of impact.
Here's Kennan taking the jet sweep for no gain as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage at the 19.
Yeah, those front 5 are earning their keep. You know, they're going to earn a post-game meal, especially if they can finish this drive off. And you think if they can take a 3-score lead, you know, how much time have they been able to chew up off this clock on this drive already? They're content with 3, 4, 5, maybe pop a 8 or 10-yard run, and watching that clock continue to tick down, even though we're here still in the 3rd.
2nd down and 10 with the ball at the 19-yard line. Neal in the backfield, gonna hand it to him. He's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and dropped right there.
That's a great job the other way. We've been complimentary of the offensive line for McCrory, but that time 24 Camilo Allen and 30 Dakota Wimberly for Fordyce got off blocks and able to make the play right at the line of scrimmage, and now it's 3rd and long for the Jaguars.
6:02 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. McCrory trying to add to their 20-7 lead. Campbell in the shotgun with Neal to his right. Campbell going to look to throw. Under pressure. Rolls out. Going to the end zone, and he one-hops his wide receiver that time as he was trying to hook up with Rushing.
Rushing has been the go-to receiver in third down situations. I might have liked to see Campbell continue to try to pick that up with his legs. Once he rolled left, avoided that initial rusher. There's a lot of green space out in front, but he trusted the arm, just couldn't get it to Rushing as he was rolling to his left to try to throw it back across his body.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could have gotten that first down if he would have kept running.
Now it's going to be 4th and 10, and they haven't tried an extra point, so no point in trying a field goal. They're going to go for it.
So it's 4th down and 10 as the ball's at the 19-yard line. Campbell going to look to throw. Goes right side with it. Has a man at the 15, still on his feet, all the way down to the 12-yard line as he was able to get with Kennan. And that's going to be a turnover on downs with 5:26 to play here in the third quarter. We're going to take a break. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Riggs Rents, Arkansas's rental equipment provider. From aerial lifts to dirt moving machines and everything in between. Our family-owned and operated business takes pride in serving our employees and customers. Riggs Rents, a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Local broadcast of Arkansas PBS programming is made possible in part by Community Bakery. Scratch-made breads, pastries, cakes, treats, and locally roasted coffees served daily at 2 locations in Little Rock, 1200 Main and 270 Shackelford.
Celebrate game day under the arches. You get access to tons of benefits through our rewards program, and it's available today on the McDonald's app. We're loving it.
So Fordyce gets the ball on the 12-yard line, and they'll get a false start to start the drive.
And left guard wanting to get a little head start.
Snap. False start. Offense. First down.
By the way, today's attendance, 2,964 for this 2A state championship game. We've had some pretty good attendances throughout the weekend, the last 2 weekends actually. So it's now 1st down and 15 with the ball at the 7. one-on-one coverage on the outside as it was one-on-one trying to hook up with Hammonds, and it's incomplete.
A lot of contact at the top of the route there, and Hammonds and the Fordyce crowd looking for a flag, but they don't get one.
Hammonds warranted a penalty flag because he was out in front of that pass, and then they had a lot of tie-up right towards the end of the route.
He's going to be a look at it, and they thought they had a little too much contact. They wanted an interference. And based on where it snapped, it's a negative-yard punt.
Yes, I was just saying it was about
where he kicked it.
Where he kicked it, it was about a 1-yard punt.
Right. That went straight up. He just, caught it on too far up his foot, and bad's turned into worse.
He almost caught that and went into the end zone.
Yeah, he did. Bad turns into worse for Fordyce. It's starting just to pile up on the Redbugs, and they can't get anything to go their way.
Coming down with that from McCrory.
22.
It was Dalton Reynolds. So now McCrory's got great field position at the 2-yard line. As Kennan goes right side, he dives for the end zone, and they're going to say he's at the half-yard line.
So they didn't get there as Kennan was chopped down just shy of the goal line. But if you're McCrory, it's not the end of the world. You get to burn another 30 to 35 seconds. Still inside the 1.
Down to 4 minutes to play here in the third. 2nd down and goal. Ball at the half-yard line. Campbell. We've got penalty flags down. He goes into the end zone.
There's movement in the backfield, and the running back.
Snap. False start. Number 9. He leans forward. 5 yards. 2nd down.
Tried to get a head start. They're just going to run the quarterback sneak, and he was going to push the QB into the end zone again like they did on that earlier in the first half. And he just moved too early, and they'll back him up 5.
So now they're going to have the ball at the 6-yard line. It'll still be 2nd down. Clock's rolling at 3:40 left here in the third. A lot of confusion on the McCrory side as they've got guys coming on and off, and now they've got it all set. As Campbell is in the shotgun. Gonna hand it to Neal. Neal right side going for the end. He lost it. He lost it down at the 2-yard line.
Ball just slapped out of there. Neal couldn't. I thought he was going to be able to find the goal line, but lost the football. Big play there by the Fordyce defense.
It was Reese Rushing who came up with the fumble recovery for McCrory.
That's a play by the receiver to recognize the loose ball and save disaster.
So now it's 3rd down and 2. With the ball, it's actually 3rd and goal, but the ball's at the 2. Kennan takes the jet sweep. He goes for the end zone. He's in for the touchdown.
The exact same play they ran on 1st down, RJ, and this time able to get across the goal line. And what a big sequence of events that was. The short punt that gives the ball inside the 5. McCrory able to take advantage, and now they've got a 3-score lead.
It's 26-7 with 2:38 to play here in the third. It's been since 2015 since McCrory's won a state championship, and I think the entire town is here at War Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, they were one of the best teams in 2A all season long, and they're certainly looking like the best team in Class 2A today. They've thoroughly dominated up to this point.
So McCrory's going to go for 2. Kennan comes in motion. They'll hand it to him. He's going to go for the end zone, and he's in for the 2-point conversion.
It's a big statement drive. And I say that's 5 yards more defensively. That was a big statement, what they've been able to do. Coming out of the half, you think Fordyce is going to try a few different things. But McCrory's defense is just not giving up anything.
It's now 28-7 with 2:38 to play in the third. And really, it's mistakes. Hey, look, McCrory's playing great, don't get me wrong, but mistakes by Fordyce to allow for, McCrory got it to the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. Mistakes, you can't give up field position. And field position has been slanted so much to McCrory all afternoon long. And go back to the start of the second half, Fordyce has got the ball in McCrory territory and quickly goes 4 and out. They couldn't take advantage of it. Got to take advantage of those opportunities when you get them, and Fordyce hasn't been able to do it. That's why they're down by 21.
On to kick for McCrory, it is Amari Smith. It's a squibber that goes in and out of the hands of Walker, and Walker's going to get bottled up down at the 15-yard line.
It's just all going wrong for Fordyce. I'm going to send a big shout out to Ashley Media for helping us get the word out about these state football championships. Of course, we appreciate the support. I guess it's never too early, RJ. Start thinking about the hoops.
Oh, yeah, hoops are going to be coming up in March. Myself and Westmore and you, we will all be down in Hot Springs for the state championships. Look, we always enjoy those games.
A lot of games in 3 days. 12 champions going to be crowned. If you like basketball, definitely go to Hot Springs that second weekend in March.
So it's 1st and 10 with the ball at the 15-yard line. Here's Merritt. Going to throw it out in the flats. Finds Sledge. Sledge gets it out to the 14-yard line. Or excuse me, they're going to officially mark it at the 15, so he got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think the initial read there for Merritt, where they're trying to sneak the tight end on the right side of the formation out. It's kind of a delayed go route. But McCrory had that one covered. He's going to be on the left side of your screen there. They sneak him out. He's not open, so he has to throw it out to a safety valve. But McCrory's defense right there, as you mentioned, holds him to a no gain.
2nd down and 10. Merritt looking to throw, going deep downfield. It's intercepted at the 30-yard line. Working it back. It's going to be a pick 6. McCrory gets another touchdown. On the touchdown for McCrory, it was Levi Tucker.
The freshman was in the right place at the right time, and the overthrow comes right to him, and it was clear he knew what to do with the football in his hands as he makes a house call, and this game has certainly gotten out away from Fordyce.
34-7 now. McCrory opening things up here in the 3rd quarter.
Read perfectly. He's sitting down, expecting anything across the middle. McCrory did a nice job of chucking the crossing routes and knocking them off their path, and the overthrow comes right to Tucker. He puts it in the end zone.
So Campbell's going to be in the shotgun. He'll have Neal to his right. Kennan comes on the jet sweep. They're going to hand it to him. Trying to get to the edge. Spin move. Still driving, and he can't quite get to the end zone. And so the 2-point conversion's no good, and McCrory, they lead at 34-7 with 2:11 to play here in the 3rd.
It's just amazing, RJ, and football's a momentum sport. But when Fordyce gets the interception in the end zone with about 35 seconds left in the 2nd quarter, they're down 12-7. You think they're going to go into the half at that same margin. They fumble the football, and all of a sudden they've reeled off 22 straight points as McCrory to put a lot of distance between themselves and Fordyce.
Well, if you're Fordyce right now, they went back to that wing tee set the entire 3rd quarter. They had more success in the first half when they spread it back out, and we haven't seen much of that here in the second half.
They're just kind of like trying to get anything going. Whether it's running the football, throwing the football, McCrory's defense has answered the call. I mean, you can change the offenses all you want, but that defense is staying the same, and that's the big reason for the struggles.
Kickoff is going to be taken by Walker at the 14-yard line. Walker is going to be taken down after he gets it out to the 27, and that'll be 1st and 10 for Fordyce with 2:04 to play in the 3rd.
Now for Fordyce, You know, you're probably limited in possessions. You've got to be able to score quickly and maybe start stealing some possessions the other way if you want to get yourself back into this contest. And if you're McCrory, you're just going to keep everything in front, try not to give up the big play, make them earn everything they have just like they have up to this point. And that clock is your best friend if you're wearing orange and black.
So here's a run by Fordyce. Is it Sledge who's going to get out to the 35-yard line?
He starts the drive there. The offensive line gets initial push. Sledge gets 8.
Second down to 2.
Want a copy of this title game or any of the state championship games? Just go to mmproductions.net and place your order.
Here is Merritt taking himself out past the 40-yard line. And he'll be taken down at the 44. He picks up a first down.
The run on the stop. The result of the run, first down.
2 of their best runs of the day on back-to-back carries. For Fordyce, they just line up in the spread and run it right at the McCrory defense. They move the chains.
So it's 1st and 10. Fordyce has spread it back out with 4 wide receivers in the formation. Merritt rolling left as he'll get it out into the hands of his wideout Taylor Poole. And Poole gets out of bounds.
The result of the play, first down, Red Ball.
It's just 3 plays, RJ, but this is the most impressive drive Fordyce has been able to put together since they got it in the end zone. Way back in that second quarter.
So it's 1st and 10. Here's Merritt going right side, incomplete, trying to hook up with his wide receiver, Kristen Beelan.
McCrory got tired of sitting back. That time they brought pressure from one of the linebackers, and I think the internal clock for Merritt sped up. He had more protection than he thought. He threw that football earlier than he planned and overshoots his target coming out of the backfield.
Down to 33 seconds here left in the third quarter. Fordyce has worked the ball into McCrory territory. And they weren't ready for the snap, and now we've got whistles and penalty flags.
Prior to the snap, ball start. Offense, second down.
That is the 7th penalty for Fordyce in this game for 39 yards.
I haven't been clean, really, in any phase of it. I mean, you can't knock the defense. I mean, they've been backed up against the wall for most of the game. I mean, 218 total yards from McCrory is not a huge number to be given up.
Here's a swing pass that goes left side into the hands of Jacoby Walker, and he'll get it to the 49-yard line, which is no gain.
They're not able to make that initial man miss. I mean, McCrory's been able to make plays in open space, and you know that Fordyce has been able to turn those little 1- and 2-yard pass plays into the flat to big gainers all season long, and that defense has just not given up anything.
I think that'll be the last play of the ball game as we're down to 1 second, and that'll do it for the third quarter of play. So McCrory, they have built a 34-7 lead in the 2A state championships. And you're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships at Arkansas PBS Sports.
Centennial Bank is committed to you. Since our founding in 1999, we've become one of the nation's most trusted banks by remembering that you come first, by empowering our communities to reach their highest potential through our dedication to local charities, education, and exceptional service, because we are proud to call Arkansas home. Banking with you in mind. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
Okay, Frisbee, let's remember. It's 1 bark for true and no barks for false. Arkansas PBS is Arkansas's largest classroom. Bark! Frisbee didn't eat my slippers. Oh, Frisbee, how could you?
go.
No, I'm sorry, Miss House. I was going to tell you, but it slipped my mind.
Please don't let it slip your mind and donate to Arkansas PBS today.
Burke!
I think that it's great that PBS does the broadcasting for the sports here in Arkansas, mainly just because some people just can't make it to the game. You think about a grandmother or someone in your family that might just want to watch you on TV. If you love watching Arkansas Sports Championships on PBS, please make a gift today.
This month in Passport on the PBS video app.
Feels like a oneness, and it's refreshing.
Starring Cara Toynton and Julian Ovington. Don't miss the sound of music.
And the American Pops for a star-studded holiday celebration of American jazz legend Ella Fitzgerald.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS video app.
As we get set for the final quarter of football in Arkansas this year, Arkansas PBS is proud to bring you the high school football state finals live, and we're going to be back in the spring with the basketball, baseball, and softball finals also live right here on Arkansas PBS.
Been a lot of fun, Bobby, doing all these games with you and Wes and Kyle and everybody at Arkansas PBS Sports. This is year number 4 that we've been doing these games. Here's Fordyce with the football as they're going to go deep with it on their first drive, and it was off the back shoulder that time, and trying to come up with it was Jairique Walker. And so now they've got a 4th down situation.
Just trying to push the ball down the field. It's 3rd and long, and a pretty good throw, and the receiver just could not make a play on it. The ball kind of hung up, allowed him to run underneath it. He had a couple steps, and they had a little contact there at the top of the route, but Poole could not reel it in for the Redbugs. So now we got 4th and long.
So it's 4th down and 15 with the ball at the 49-yard line. Looking to throw, goes right side with it and knocked out of bounds that time. Hooking up with, is it Walker again? Yeah.
A swing pass to Walker, but he's dropped well short of the line to gain. Going to be a turnover on downs as Landon Headley and Lathan Briley both there converge, make the play, and get the offense back on the field for the Jaguars.
I imagine you're going to see a heavy dose here of Kennan as we going to wind this clock down here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I'd be shocked
between him and Neal.
Yeah, you're exactly right, RG. I think you'd be shocked to see. I would be shocked if they put the ball in the air. With Neal, Kennan, even the quarterback run game with Campbell, they've been able to. They haven't churned up huge numbers of yards, 146 yards on the ground, but they've been effective, averaging almost 5 yards a carry.
So McCrory has 2 backs in the backfield. Gonna hand it off to Kennan. Kennan out past the 50, out past the 45, picks up the 1st down, gets to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, you got to finish the game right. You got to finish it strong, and McCrory's feeling it. And the Fordyce defense is going to be down on themselves. They're down by 27. This game likely already away from them. They haven't played poorly on that side of the football. Again, just holding McCrory to 230 yards of total offense to this point, but just the field position has been stacked against the Redbugs, and the Jaguars have punched it in when they've gotten a chance.
It's 1st and 10 with the ball at the 44-yard line. Kennan and Neal in the backfield. I hand it to Kennan again. Out past the 40, down to the 39-yard line. A pickup of 5 yards on the play.
2nd and 5.
Second down and 5. Clock rolls at 2:45.
We're going to use every bit of the play clock. Let it wind down. A 1st down's worth about 2.5 to 3 minutes of game time. And so they're content with just continuing to pick up 5-6 yards and moving the sticks.
There's the handoff to Kennan again. Kennan on the pick his spot, picks up a yard. It's 3rd down.
Allen makes the stop.
This is the longest 10 minutes of a coach's life. You've got a state championship right in front of you. You just got to finish your drive and to finish the path to get there. And it feels like that's just like sand ticking through an hourglass. If you're McCrory, this cannot go fast enough, and there's nothing you can do to speed it up.
3rd down and 4, under 10 to play. Campbell going to keep it himself. And he'll be taken down at the 40-yard line. It's a 2-yard loss, and that brings up 4th down.
Great job by Allen to shoot in there and make a play in the backfield for Fordyce. He's not going to give up so easily. Haven't done many runs for a loss today for McCrory, but that time he drops for a loss of a couple.
So 4th down and 6.
Just the second tackle for a loss for that Redbug defense.
Really in no hurry is McCrory. They've got 7 on the play clock. And Kennan takes it himself and dives forward for a gain of 2.
I think there's a little confusion.
Well, I said it was Kennan. It was actually Campbell, but he didn't know which way anybody. There was nobody around whenever he went to give it off.
Yeah, he turned to hand the ball to the deep man in the pistol, and well, he went the other direction, so Campbell had to keep it himself. Well, wisely tries not to do too much with it, turns it over on downs, but didn't give up any big plays.
So now Fordyce will have the football with 8:55 to play here in the ball game.
I'm going to give a special thanks to Community Bakery for providing food for our crew and their continued support of Arkansas PBS.
Here's Sledge working it outside the 40, still on his feet. There's a penalty flag down back at the 40. As he was able to pick up about 9 yards on the play, but we'll see what the penalty flag is.
Personal foul, face mask, defense 15 yards from the end of the run, 1st down.
So that'll help Fordyce as they'll spot the ball in McCrory territory at the 37-yard line.
It's a big drive for Fordyce to try to get a little confidence, a little momentum heading into the offseason. And just finishing drives have been a problem. They've moved the football really between the 30s, just haven't been able to cap off drives with points.
Here's Walker. So it's 2nd down and 3 with the ball at the 30. The only score for Fordyce in this game came in the 2nd quarter. Merritt looking to throw, going big ball left side, and it overthrows it that time as he was trying to hook up with Taylor Poole.
They've tried a couple deep shots for Taylor Poole, both times just out of his reach. About a step in front of the lanky receiver.
So that brings up 3rd down and 3 with 8:30 on the clock.
Just haven't been able to connect on those big plays. They've hit one deep pass play today. That one went for 36 yards way back in that 2nd quarter that was on their scoring drive.
Ball's on the turf. Merritt picks it up as he gets it back to the line of scrimmage. It's now 4th down.
Well, they prevent the turnover, does the Fordyce offense, but the quarterback at center and quarterback exchange, just Not effective. Blows the play up before it can get started.
4th down and 3.
So they need 3 yards to get the first down. Here on 4th down as we're under 8 to play. 3 wide receivers to the near side formation. And just overthrows his intended target. That was Jacoby Walker, and it's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, they tried the bubble screen there, and it just doesn't work. It leads his receiver too far up the field as he's running horizontally, throws it too far up the field, and that's kind of been the storyline of the day, RJ, just kind of out of sync for this Fordyce offense.
So it's 1st and 10 now for McCrory.
Check out the logo t-shirts, caps, and uniform. You can purchase your official state.
So far, total offense for both these teams. McCrory, 235 yards of total offense. Fordyce, 169 yards of total offense. As Campbell's going to be in the shotgun. Going to hand it off to Neal. Neal is going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage back at the 29-yard line.
Great job by Dakota Wimberly to stand his blocker up. Able to shuck him away and make the play.
2nd down, 11.
So it's now 2nd down and 11. Here's a handoff to Neal. Got a running lane out past the 40, and he's taken down at the 47-yard line. Picks up the first down and more.
Strong bit of running from Neal, and his offensive line again clears the way for him. A couple of Fordyce defenders ended up on the backside, and that's a good thing for the offensive line. Is you got a couple pancakes, and you see it right in the middle. Again, it starts with the center. It works its way out the interior. Offensive line has played very, very well for that Jaguar unit.
Clock's rolling at 6:48. Campbell. I hand it off to Kennan. Kennan straight up the middle. Picks up a couple out to the 49-yard line. You know, outside of one turnover for McCrory, pretty much played a solid, complete game so far.
Yeah, the interception in the end zone is really about the only blemish. No penalties haven't been much of an issue. 5 for 50 yards. Well, they haven't hit a ton of big plays. They've hit those middle range plays. They've broken off a couple runs of 28 yards. Got the one pass play that set up their initial touchdown. That was kind of a busted coverage, but.
Here's Kennan running forward out to the 42-yard line. That's another first down.
A lot of those type plays are 8 to 10 yards. You know, they're not the flashiest plays. They're not going to put you on the highlight reel, but those are plays that extend drives and put you in the end zone, and also just demoralizing for a defense. They've got plenty of guys in the box to slow down the run. They just can't make the play. And McCrory gets the fresh set of downs and gets to churn a little more clock.
So far in the day, Reed Kennan, 15 carries, 84 yards, 3 touchdowns. Latrell Neal, 16 carries for 98 yards. Here's Campbell, rolling left side, cutting it back up. We've got a penalty flag down. Campbell's out past the 30 to the 29-yard line, but I would imagine there's a hold on that left side.
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
You want a copy of any of the state championship games? Just go to mmproductions.net to place your order. It feels like a long time ago. We had the 8-man game last Thursday.
Yeah.
Mountain Pine, strong, 66-60 double overtime game.
Golly, it does seem like it was forever ago when we did that 8-man game.
Well, that was, I guess, now 6 3/4 of a game ago.
Yeah.
7 games in 2 weekends. By far my favorite 2 weekends of the year.
1st and 17 now, as Neal's got it. Got a running lane out past the 45 to the 44-yard line. 6-yard gain that time. That's going to put Neal over 100 yards rushing for the day.
They've been balanced. 103 for Neal, 84 for Kennan. Campbell's got 11 carries for 22 yards, just to keep you honest. And it's just a will. I mean, they know they're running it. We know they're running it. Fordyce knows they're running it. And just haven't been.
It's where they're going to run it too.
Haven't been able to slow them down.
Yeah.
I would say the majority of it, 75 to 80%, have been between the tackles, right up the middle.
And ball's on the turf, and it's picked up by Campbell, and he'll lose a few yards on the play back to the 49-yard line.
5 yards there. That's the first time we've really seen a busted play from McCrory. Again, just going to let that clock tick. 40 more seconds, we'll reel off. I'll do it again after third down. I'll actually hit it up, man. Excuse me, it looks like the snap hit Briley, the guard, trying to pull around.
It's 34-7 with 3:40 and counting left here in this Class 2A state championship game. McCrory hasn't won a state championship since 2015. They're going to break that snap today. Here's Neal, right side, as he'll be upended after he picks up a couple on the play. Bring up fourth down. You know, so much was said about how, you know, the relationship between Case and Campbell and Reed Kennan coming into this ball game, and I don't think there's been enough talk about Latrell Neal. Neal has been a heck of a running back. He's been a workhorse. He doesn't have the touchdowns that Kennan's had, but I mean, he's over 100 yards rushing, and he's been a workhorse for this Jaguar team.
Yeah, he's a load. He just wears on you. His 200-pound frame is just tough to tackle time and time again. And Fordyce has let him sneak through the cracks a couple times and get some big plays. We've got a quick kick, and Fordyce going to down a punt, excuse me, inside the 20.
As we'll take it down to the 8-yard line, and with 2:33 to play in the ball game, the Jaguars of McCrory, they hold a 34-7 lead over Fordyce. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. At Big Red Stores, we're always proud to sponsor, support, and partner up with many events and activities throughout the community. Among them, high school championships throughout the state of Arkansas. At Big Red Stores, our team members are always ready to assist you to make your visit with us a pleasant one. And at Big Red Stores, we recognize that none of our support or ability to serve the community is possible without you. That's why at Big Red Stores, you're always the MVP of the Big Red team. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever.
You can experience the action all over again. If you missed any of the championship games, just go to youtube.com/Arkansas PBS. The games will be up next week. We'll relive them over and over again and listen to the beautiful pipes of R.J. Hawk and Wes Moore.
Can't leave you out of it.
Yeah, as my pipes are average.
Here's Merritt with a big run out past the 20-yard line. He's going to be taken down at the 25. First down, probably the best run Merritt's had today.
Straight ahead. We'll get to watch the championships over and over next week, and we've had some good ones. Have been eventful 2 weekends. Started way back last Thursday with the 8-man game.
Yeah, started with the 8-man game. Strong won the game 66-60. And the first time that it's been a sanctioned event with the AAA that we got to do right here on Arkansas PBS. And the 5A game had Pulaski Academy win another state championship as they won 51-19. Class 6A was last Saturday, and El Dorado, they knocked off Greenwood to win 27-17 in that 6A state championship. And then the Class 7A game, which was last Saturday night, not the 6A game. Here's Merritt. looking to throw. Has a man, that's Walker, and it's overshot, and it goes out of bounds. And so that'll bring up second down. But in that 7A game, Bryant, they won their 4th straight state championship as they beat Fayetteville in a shootout, 42-38.
Probably the best weekend or best game of the 2 weekends. Yeah. To be honest, that was a classic.
And then this weekend in the 3A game, Harding Academy, they won 47-25 over Prescott. The 4A game last night, Robinson knocked off Shiloh Christian 42-14. And then here in the nightcap of this weekend, right now McCrory's on their way to a 2A state championship. Here's a pass that goes into the hands of Hammonds. And so that'll be a pickup of about 9 yards on the play out to the 34-yard line.
An eventful couple of weeks, that's for sure. 3 state champions are going to be moving up. Harding Academy, Shiloh Christian. Robinson's even moving up. Shiloh is the runner-up, of course.
There's a run by Merritt. He gets the first down and more. He's off to the races across the 50-yard line, out past the 40, and he was taken down into McCrory territory back at the 36-yard line.
We'll find out Tuesday what the new conferences, new alignment looks like. Those teams, 5A is going to have a really new look to it as Parkview's dropping down from 6A to 5A. The 2 finalists from 4A, as I mentioned, Robinson and Shiloh moving up. It's going to certainly have a new feel to it.
Here's a run by Merritt. He'll get to the edge. Out past the 30, and he's taken down to the 29-yard line.
We have the alignment every 2 years, so it's not new that that's happening, but just the number of teams going to be shuffling around because of the new private school rule.
Yeah.
Based on your competition level, you could be potentially moving up or moving down. That's what's going to happen with Shiloh Christian, Harding Academy, Pulaski Academy. They're all moving up a classification. So that's actually going to force Jonesboro into the state's largest classification for the first time in quite a while. Little Rock Catholics moving down to 6A.
By the way, the AAA Board of Directors, they're meeting on Tuesday.
Right, and to finalize all that.
We may know Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, who's going where for classifications for this upcoming year. And there's a lot of people anticipating that news on where everybody's going and what it's going to look like this time next year.
Yeah, and they have to finalize that so quickly because teams are going to start making their non-conference schedule if they haven't already.
Yeah.
And for those leagues that may have more, this is the first year that you don't have to, or you could potentially have more than 8. It's not a mandatory 8 teams per conference. And so that's going to affect the number of teams that you schedule for your non-conference. I think the 6A is going to be the wildest classification. There's going to be 19 teams in Class 6A. So one of the leagues is going to have 10 teams, which means you only get 1 non-conference game.
Yeah.
And so if you're, we'll just randomly pick a team out of the hat, say if you're Pulaski Academy and you're playing in a 10-team league, they're only getting 1 non-conference, and you got to jump right into league play.
So it's second down and 3. Trey Merritt in the shotgun. He brings Sledge in motion from left to right. Merritt looking to throw right side, and it's knocked out of bounds. Bring up third down.
A nice job to get over there in coverage for McCrory. Carson Campbell and Blake. Defense as well as quarterback. That ball hung up a little too long for Merritt. I love the defense to react, get over, and deflect that one away.
So we're down to 50 seconds to play in this one.
Coach Kennan, put your head on a swivel. It's ice bucket time.
Boy, can you imagine how cold that bucket is right about now?
They've got it. Bucket's at the 40.
I saw Scola last night. He got the ice bucket, and I know that it's not. He probably doesn't feel it. The rush is probably, you probably don't feel it until you get to the locker room. Here's Merritt going deep. As a man, it's in and out of the hands of his wide receiver, Taylor Poole.
Yeah, had a few steps on the defender there, but that ball underthrown, and Poole had to try to come back for it, and the defender running right in front of him might have blocked his view at the football just for a fraction of a second. He could not reel it in.
So now it's 4th down and 3. Down to 10 seconds on the play clock.
And Coach Kennan just got it.
Merritt under pressure, throws it up, and it's intercepted down at the 11-yard line. That time coming up with the interception is Colby Baskins, the senior who's able to seal this thing away with 36 seconds left. And as you said, Coach Kennan got the ice bath over on that far side, and the McCrory Jaguars are on to win the 2021 state championship.
Yep, he's feeling a little cold, but what'll warm him up is watching his team take one meal down here and take home their second state championship in the last 6 years.
You know, the folks at Arkansas PBS did the piece on Campbell and Kennan and, you know, their relationship, and really did a good job of highlighting how this entire group has been together, you know, since they were young kids, and they're seniors now, and it really culminates to a state championship, and kind of goes back to when groups stay together and practice together and work together, what it all comes down to. And it doesn't always happen, but it's pretty neat when it does.
Yeah, it really is, and a dominating performance from McCrory as they easily win it 34-7. And how about a shout out to all those guys battling the elements?
Yeah, those cameramen and camera women and everybody in the truck, boy, they've done a great job. Hey, look, I tell you what, that guy right there that's on the top of the roof, he's been cold. He has been a war. He may get the MVP for Arkansas PBS. Yeah, exactly, because it has been a cold, cold time up there on top of the roof and down there in the end zones. I want to thank everybody that has helped put these state championships on the last couple weekends. And we are out of time, where McCrory, they are your 2021 state champions as they win it 34-7 over Fordyce. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we will, before we do that, Kyle Sutherland is down on the field with Coach Kennan. Take it away, Kyle.
Coach, these guys have been together since the sandbox days, and this is the second one in school history, and your alma mater. Just talk about your feelings right now, also doing it with your son.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, I'm so happy for these kids. I've watched them since they were in 4th grade play Pee Wee football together. You know, what a blessing the Lord's blessed us with to get to do this and get to do it with my kid. It's extra special.
All right, Coach, thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kyle. As McCrory, they win it by a score of 34-7 over Fordyce. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the MVP, give you some final stats, and recap the entire 2 weekends as you're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
During the past year, we've been traversing the natural state with our cinematic drone. From lakes and rivers, waterfalls, scenic byways, mountains, swamps, overlooks, and towering rock formations. This unique documentation of all 4 seasons from all 4 corners of the state with an aerial cinematic perspective will give you, the viewer, an Arkansas adventure like never before.
Of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Riggs Rents, Arkansas's rental equipment provider, from aerial lifts to dirt moving machines and everything in between. Our family-owned and operated business takes pride in serving our employees and customers. Riggs Rents, a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Local broadcast of Arkansas PBS programming is made possible in part by Community Bakery. Scratch-made breads, pastries, cakes, treats, and locally roasted coffees served daily at 2 locations in Little Rock, 1200 Main and 270 Shackelford.
2021 2A state champions. As the McCrory Jaguars, they were able to pull off the state championship win for the first time since 2015. And boy, what a dominating performance for McCrory today, Bobby.
Yeah, to beat that team, the defending state champion, and talk about Fordyce. And, they'd won so many close games, it almost seemed like maybe they're a team of destiny, but they just ran into a buzzsaw today as McCrory made play after play when it mattered most, and that's why they're about to take home the hardware they came for, that one, the 2A state championship.
Tell you, I love small town football, man, because everybody in the community is here. They're supportive. And if they couldn't make it, they were watching right here in Arkansas PBS. And it's just, we've gotten texts throughout the ball game from both people in both these towns that they live, eat, and breathe high school football in these towns. And it's good to see McCrory over there celebrating with all their fans. Nobody's left the stadium, that's for sure.
That every business in McCrory has got, their windows painted orange and black saying take state. And, I grew up in a small town. I know how important that football is to those little communities. And, no acknowledgement should be taken away from Fordyce as they had a great season. But tonight, McCrory was clearly the better team, and that's why they're taking home a 27-point victory in the title game.
Final stats in the ball game, as when you look at both these teams, it was in the passing department. Fordyce led the way with 99 passing yards to 72 for McCrory. But the rushing, 206 total yards of rushing for McCrory. They had a grand total of 278 yards of total offense. Fordyce had 232 turnovers, though. Big killer for Fordyce as they had 4 turnovers in the game.
Yeah, and that doesn't even include the negative 5-yard punt that set up a short field. Reed Kennan named the most valuable player here in the title game. He had 84 of those 206 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns. There's a big reason why those guys in orange and black are taking home a title.
Yep, Reed Kennan was a big factor, as well as I want to keep mentioning Latrell Neal, because he may have not got the touchdowns, but he had a lot of big yardage for this team. And so, it was an all-around team win tonight.
It really was.
For McCrory.
If they had 5 blacks, I would have given it to the offensive line. The way they played up front, they outmanned probably by 50 to 60 pounds at every position. The offensive line for the Jaguars established the point of impact. They moved the line of scrimmage time and time again tonight, and they're the reason that they ran for 206 yards and paved the way for an easy victory.
Well, it's been a great 2 weekends of football here at War Memorial Stadium. We started with 8-man football. Strong got a state championship in that. We had the 5A game, the 6A game, the 7A. You had Pulaski Academy, El Dorado, and Bryant all winning state championships. And then this weekend, you had the 3A game in which Harding Academy won. Robinson, they beat Shiloh Christian last night. And then, of course, McCrory gets a 2A state championship. Overall, Bobby, 2 weekends of football. Your thoughts on the 2 weekends?
There wasn't a lot of surprises. The teams that we expected to win coming into the matchups won those games, with the exception of maybe the 6A game. El Dorado came out and had a great game plan and took down Greenwood, but what a classic was Bryant and Fayetteville. The largest classification, the 2 best teams in 7A, the conference champions from their respective leagues, and we got a shootout in that one. And it started with the 8-man game. You mentioned it, and it set the table for 2 really good weekends, and crowned 7 state champions in, well, essentially, was that 10 days?
Wow.
It's a pretty good time to be a football fan in Arkansas.
Well, we'll be doing this again in March when we have the basketball championships down in Hot Springs. So we love it if you tweet us on Arkansas PBS, use that hashtag, and then we will see you guys in March. So for everybody down in the booth for Arkansas PBS, Kyle Sutherland, who's been on the sideline, Wes Moore, who's been working with us for the last 2 weekends, Bobby Swafford, I'm RJ Hawk. Your final in the 2A state championship game, 34-7. McCrory takes the title. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
month in Passport on the PBS video app.
Feels like a oneness and